From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
access to capital is a key challenge for anybody hoping to start and run a small business. You have to get the money to get your business started somehow. If you have employees and it's hard to grow a business without them, you'll need to know how to handle payroll. That's today's topic in our accounting and bookkeeping segment. And we meet the owner of a real estate brokerage company helping bridge language barriers for business owners looking for retail space.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
With Credit Karma, finding the right credit card for you is easy. Our app analyzes user profiles to suggest personalized recommendations. Visit creditkarma.com today to explore cards tailored to your needs. Credit Karma, simplifying your financial choices.
Welcome back to Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to capital is a key challenge for anybody hoping to start and run a small business. You have to get the money to get your business started somehow. Each week, we look at expert insight into some of the things you'll need to know about how and where to seek the funds you need.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to capital.
Creditworthiness may not be a term you're currently familiar with, but one you'll need to know because for a lender, it can make all the difference in determining if you'll get a loan or not. Fifth Third Financial Center Manager Parminder Kaur explains.
Credit is an agreement between a consumer and credit agencies or the lender. Basically, it's showing your creditability towards your business, towards the lender, and to make sure that you are actually showing a good history of making payments on time, and that builds a trust between you and a lender. Anytime you are going to apply for a small business loan, they do ask for a guarantor as well. So you can have a good business credit, but if you don't have your personal credit where it needs to be, it can get declined. A lender would ask you a minimum 2 year of personal and tax returns and the business. Also, a business needs to be established at least for 18 months or more, just to make sure that we are not putting too much weight on a baby, if you want to see it that way. And also, P&L for current year and the past year, which is profit and loss statements, and along with that, minimum 680 scores on a personal side. So if you do need a larger amount, more than 500K, at Fifth Third, we actually work as a one bank. So if something that I can't do on retail end, I do have our commercial partner, loan officers, who can help you with that. And for your convenience, we can actually have a joint meeting, so that way I will be there as your representative, and then you don't have to actually tell the story, and then I can actually connect with all here at the branch, so that way you don't need to go and meet. Basically, we're trying to make it easy on our customers. There are cases that, we have clients that don't match the criteria right now, but what we actually do, then we see where actually we try to uncover the needs to see where we need to help them. Most of the cases, it's their personal credit, and then we set up them with secure card, secure loan to help that credit relationship build between customer and credit agencies. And that usually it's not going to happen overnight, of course. It takes 6 months to a year to put you in a good credit. There are actually different types of loans, and depends, what customers' need is. We call secure loan and unsecured loan. So secure loan is where we actually ask for the collateral, and unsecured basically just based on your credit and your signature. That's about it. The collateral will take any equipment, any physical assets that customer would have that's generating the revenue for them, and it could be a building, it could be equipments, it could be their cash value, CDs, all that. So the very first step, of course, set up an appointment with the banker. We will actually go ahead and uncover their needs and then see where they are actually standing right now and go from there.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. Everyone likes to get paid, and as a business owner, you have to pay yourself and your employees.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
Welcome again to Accounting and Bookkeeping here on Business Equity and Opportunities. From time to time, we talk with the man who knows it very well from our end, Circle City Broadcasting, our parent company, and all the businesses associated with it. Ty Shea is the Chief Financial Officer. Ty, good to see you again. Thanks for taking time to talk with us.
Scott, glad to be back. Thanks so much for having me.
You got to pay your folks at some point. If your business grows in such a way that you're not the only person doing work, payroll is important, and it is very much woven in the whole accounting and bookkeeping area, correct?
100%. And let's face it, your employees aren't there working for free, right? The most important thing to them is their paycheck. And so that has to be, as an employer, a major priority for you is to properly pay, withhold taxes, remit taxes, and report wages and taxes for your employees. Also, for the businesses I've been associated with, payroll is by far, and it depends on the business you're in, but can often be your biggest expense by far. So, from our perspective, it's very important to get it right.
When you talk about that, too, it's a bit of a moving target in terms of all these rules, correct? I mean, you can't just say, oh, well, it's always been like this, because it may change next week.
No question. Payroll rules are fluid. They change, often. And if you choose to try and do payroll in-house, you are expected, and as the responsibility is for you to keep up on all of those changes. And that's why I recommend for all businesses to generally outsource that payroll function. There are, payroll companies that run the entire gamut of, your very high-end payroll company that does not only just payroll, but HR related things, keeping track of vacation balances, things like that, to, basically your meat and potatoes. All they do is handle the payroll, do withdrawals, do your quarterly filings, right? Your quarterly payroll filings, and make sure that, you are staying on top of and in accordance with payroll laws.
And there are so many things, taxes you've mentioned, and that can lead to trouble if you don't take care of this the right way. Payroll isn't just about making sure the folks get what they need. It makes sense to make sure Uncle Sam's getting what he needs too, right?
Right, that's right. And there's one thing you can count on is if as an employer you are not remitting and reporting properly your payroll taxes, they will find you at some point. And so it's far easier and a great way to avoid a massive headache is to put that function in the hands of professionals who do it every day for their job.
We talk every week about accessing capital, finding the money to do what you need to do to get your business going. The bank needs to see, likes to see, wants to see that you are on point with your payroll.
No question. Yeah, I mean, it's almost to the point where it's assumed, right, that you've got your filings in order. In my experience, occasionally banks will ask to see reporting related to your payroll. It's just one of those ducks you have to have lined up if you're to be taken seriously by a potential lender.
To bring back not just this conversation, but times in the past where we've talked, it can be intimidating, certainly, when you're starting a business, maybe you're your only employee, at least to begin, to think that I have to hire a payroll person or I have to hire a CFO. None of that's true. There are people who can and will, and it is their job to give you whatever you need, large, small, or in between.
Correct. And you know, I think I want to emphasize there are very cost efficient but very effective folks out there who can help you and are used to helping small businesses like the ones we're trying to reach out to. They do this for their job every day, right? And as a business owner, you simply don't have time to be spending on payroll, especially something that is so important. You know, send that work to a professional, get it done right and timely and filed appropriately with, you know, the government and you know, alleviate that headache that you don't need, because so that you can focus on, you know, growing your business and making it, you know, profitable and you know, a worthwhile endeavor.
In many cases, those folks are small business owners as well, sole proprietors and whatnot, so the business community helps the business community, and you've helped us today. Taishe, thank you.
Thank you very much, Scott. I appreciate it.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. This year's Hispanic Heritage Celebration still has 1 week to go. As part of our Celebrating Hispanic Heritage initiative, we wanted to bring you the story of a woman-owned business that has spent years finding ways to bridge the gap for business owners whose first language is something other than English. This is her success story.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Success Story.
In today's success story, we meet Kelly Ibanez, the owner of Libertad Real Estate Company, a bilingual firm specializing in commercial real estate and working to bridge the gaps for new business owners for whom English is not their first language.
So I got started about 20 years ago in the real estate business and decided to focus on residential real estate. My basic thought was to bring the Spanish and the English-speaking community together through my gift of a second language. I speak Spanish fluently. It started out in residential. I then branched off into commercial as well as investments. We have a property management company and a full design team. So I got into real estate because I actually had a background in radio and TV, but I just felt like there was something missing in my life. And I saw the rise of the demographic of the Latino community. From the time I was little, from the time I had become an adult after college, it had increased greatly. So I thought that there was real opportunity for me to use my language skill in order to not only help a community that really needed help, but also to help a community that was really in need of being educated in the whole investment real estate world. So when I started the company, the whole goal was to kind of bridge this gap between the English-speaking community and the Spanish-speaking community. So whether it was bringing buyers and sellers together or landlords and tenants on the commercial side, there was not, at that time, 20 years ago, a lot of Spanish-speaking individuals that were versed in real estate to be able to kind of bridge that gap between these two parties that obviously had business dealings that could be had with each other. So I saw myself as kind of this interim person that could help bring both sides together to make deals happen. Simply speaking, it's translation, but if we get into a little bit more depth, it's every aspect of business ownership. Whether it's opening up an LLC, a corporation, the types of permitting that is needed to, let's say, open a restaurant. It's the whole facet of being an entrepreneur here and, you know, helping our clients start a successful business right from the beginning. So we're really there from the beginning throughout the growth of the business, and we're here for when they're open their second, third locations, whether it's here or sometimes throughout the United States. Looking at the United States, like, we truly are a melting pot. It's kind of a cliche that we say this all the time, but any of us that is here, whether we're first, second, third generation, maybe we don't even know where our ancestors came from, but we were all placed here for a reason. So I think working with an immigrant community, it's very important to realize that these are people that don't detract from our system. They add to our system, economically, politically, culturally. It's a beautiful, beautiful community, whatever community you're from. So I think if you have the gift of language or culture or specialize in something, it's just remembering to be inclusive of all people, because we're all here for the same reasons basically. And when you take out the language barrier, you realize we're all the same. We all have the same wants, needs, goals in our life. I think a misconception a lot of times of the Hispanic community is that it's a community that's taking. You hear this a lot in the news. Assistance is needed in terms of if you're new in the country, you need to know certain things of how the country operates, just like all of us would if we were living in another country. But I think the biggest thing I would want the community outside of the Hispanic community to understand about the Latino community is that these are entrepreneurs. These are hardworking, intelligent people that are contributing so greatly to our economy. I mean, this is $1 trillion business. And the demographic is growing. It's beautiful, and there's money to be made by all of us. And I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this company and do the things that we do.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.